Well, if you look at the fish out here, every now and then Glenn's going to turn the camera on you.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Florida Exotic. We're sitting here with this is 16 by 16 foot concrete vault. It's about 6,000 gallons. I'm getting ready to put 80 wild Tropheus in here. And normally I would probably put these, split them up in smaller vaults, but they're going to be here for a couple of weeks, and I do not need this tank. So I'm going to put two kinds together that are easy to tell apart, and then when comes time for me to set them up for breeders or whatever I decide to use them for, some of them will be going out, then I'll split them up. But I'm not putting anything together that I can't tell apart easily. For example, it's no doubt in your mind that this is a red fish. Well, this is a Chimba Tropheus. So I'm going to put them in with the other Tropheus that they're going with, which is Nkonde, which is going to be one of these bags, two of these bags, three, however many. Now we breed our Tropheus. We don't have hundreds of female Tropheus going. We just don't we don't have them. I don't have the space for them, and I don't really want to raise hundreds. So we also, when we're checking our fish, we might check the Boise, Chimba, and then maybe Pineapple. We might check those together, and they'll go out together. And then half of my customers want just an assortment of Tropheus. Some of them want 12 Tropheus of this type. Now these are Nkondes. Now you can see right away, totally different fish. Yellow, greenish. So these are not going to be any trouble for me to separate when I go to do them from the Chimba that are in here. So I thought I don't do this normally, but I thought it would be a kind of a best way for these guys to sit around with each other for the time, and then they're technically in quarantine, and we'll keep them here. If somebody drains them, there's another bag of Nkonde. See, all of them are the same color. I'll see if I can find a Chimba, and I'll put them in there with them, and you'll see the difference. But if we drain this tank, it will be drained totally with one hose. Then that hose will be sterilized before it goes anywhere else. And we'll do that. Not that there's anything wrong with these fish, but we do that for anything that comes on the farm, really. So see right there? Even from up top here, you can see the difference. So it's not like I'm going to say, oh my gosh, how am I going to tell these apart? There's the difference right there. So, and these guys, for example, are beautiful if you look up at Nkonde, but they just came in, so they're not, they're not fired up. They're been in a bag and everything. So these will, by the time I get ready to figure out what to do with them, they will be fattened up and they'll be ready to go. I'll sex them out. They're a lot easier to sex when they get fattened up. You can tell the different situations on them. But like I said, I'm going to show you some fish in a while that are just absolutely going to be a 30 lot of assorted going into one guy. He just ordered them like that. So, like I said, this is going to be, I'm just making sure that there's nobody suffering, that might need to have to go in the warehouse. And if something, when we bring wild fish in, we'll bring anything in. If we bring them in and one of them's a little bit not great shape, we will run it into a 10-gallon and we'll a little note on it. We'll go, what's up, Dave? Oh, well, if you look at the fish out here, every now and then Glenn's going to turn the camera on you.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. No, you hate it. You like to hide. Oh, more chimbas. So all I want to see is there anybody that needs to be taken in and handled a little bit differently. And if so, I got a bucket over there. I'll put them in there, run them in the warehouse. If not, we'll go to the other two types of fish I'm going to let go together, which are going to be pineapples. What?
That one's so pretty.
The red ones?
Yeah.
The chimbas?
Show 'em.
Yeah, they're nice. We've been showing them.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for coming out here and
Yeah.
telling us what we do. Appreciate
Directing.
it. Yeah, we need direction. But I'll show, you know, when we get these out to maybe set them up for breeders, I'll come out here one more time and show you on them what they're going to look like. But they all look real healthy. See, I got 3 more bags, and then we'll move on. Maybe we'll swing, Glenn. Maybe we'll swing by the 24 assorted, take a look at that. And in fact, I don't know if we swing by that black plastic with what we bred. You really can't see anything, can you? Not used to doing it.
Very small.
Very small. Now, one fish that would never, ever, ever, ever go into assorted is our langi, because they call it the king of Tropheus, and it's a high-end fish. I mean, some of the, now here's a little fish that's going to be a problem, so we'll put that somewhere.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. He may not need to go into the get ready tank. He may be sleeping, which Glenn calls sleeping. He looks like a sleeping.
I think he's sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping. Sleeping means he's dead. That's not bad. That's 80 something fish. One. I'm gonna put him in here just because I always want to make sure while we go look at the other fish. Now when we come back, we'll see what's going on.
All right, we'll see you at the next tank.
Yep. Here is this tank right here that's going out this week. Now we quit feeding them, I think Saturday, correct, Glenn?
Yep.
And there's 4 or 5 types of fish in here. Sometimes when there's dragged through, it's hard to tell what they are, but I'll try to tell you.
We put buckets in here when we bring these fish in from other tanks and we mix them together just to kind of quell any aggression.
These sometimes we take black, I don't know if you've ever seen it in our tanks, black garbage bags, and we split them down and put them out that way. Now, so I'm going to do my best to tell you what these are. This is Kaiser, Kaiser, yellow black. These are Chimbas going out. Nice red. This is a great variety. These are possibly Alangis. I know there's 2 of them out here.
Yeah, they're kind of orange.
Yep. There's another. I call these Kaiser 2s. People call them Kaiser 1s. There's a Bulu Point, which is cherry spot. Beautiful fish. So you can see there's another one. A couple of more spots on it. But this is a nice little variety of fish. I think this is probably a Cariza. But you know, on these trophies, it's weird. You can, like, sometimes when they get agitated is when they really show their best color. So, here's a nice fish. But I think there's probably 6 to 7 varieties in here. And that's what the customer wants. We shipped him some last month, and he loved them. It's beautiful. And I think there's also, I got another place coming up that I'm going to put a few Maswas, another cherry spot, a few Maswa Dubois, another Chimba. Beautiful. Langi.
That's going to be a beautiful tank.
It is going to be a really beautiful tank. I don't know if somebody will come in and buy the whole tank from the guy or what. I would. You won't get this mix. It would be very difficult to get this mix from anywhere else. Wow, beautiful.
I like the dorsal on that one.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, when you, I don't want to use the word, when they get pissed off.
When we agitate them lightly.
Yeah, that's a better word, agitation. We don't want to, I always want to be as correct as possible. Two more, guys. Look at the dorsals. I mean, they're nice.
Beautiful.
Yep. So like I said, we're going to add some Du Boises to this grouping, and then they'll go out. They're not going to be fed for, see, we quit Saturday. These guys take a little bit longer to purge some of the other fish. They have the Fuliborni Travasi gut, which is either longer or shorter, but whatever the case is, it takes a while. So anyway, we're going to head over to the other tank where we're going to unload some pineapples and some Kachese. Here we are with the next two type of Tropheus. This is only a, well, only 8 by 16, so this is like 3,000 gallons. So again, Glenn just showed me something cool. When I cut these open, I hold them down like this, and that gives me an easy cut, and I just cut, and I lift up, and they all come out. Fancy, fancy, fancy.
Boy, those are beautiful. Look at the color on those.
Yep, these are, now he's gonna need to go.
Yeah, he needs a little help.
Yeah. Do you see anybody I could holler to? No, you know what, Glenn, give me that bag back. I'll put him in the bag, and then I'll take him inside to quarantine. He'll be fine in here, don't anybody worry. He'll be great.
Here, I'll hold them.
Okay. So these are Kachese. Tropheus.
Beautiful.
K-A-C-H-E-S-E. Some people call them Kachese, Kachese, whatever, but I call them Kachese. So this is a red variety. So I certainly wouldn't have put that in with the Chimba, for example, because it would have good luck separating them. So cool, Glenn. Now these are pineapples.
Wow.
Some people call them sunspots, but these are Empalungas.
Oompa Loompas.
Oompa Loompa. But these are Empalungas. Now these guys don't get as big. All these Tropheus get different sizes. But you see, there's gonna be no problem. But you can see why they're calling this a sunspot.
Beautiful.
So Casey up top. So these are gonna be no problem to separate when the time comes. But the pineapples always come in small, smaller, and they get to be eventually as big as, but they're a slow grower, so whenever we put them out with an assortment, sometimes they're not as big as the other ones grow. Kind of like what we were showing the other day when we did the special pseudo types and the super special pseudos, and the difference between growth is how we do it. And I think Glenn mentioned, somebody asked a question about extra females, what happens to them? Well, we do have people who buy females.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I actually replied to that.
That was
comment,
that was an excellent the way you described it. Because number one, they're valuable to us, obviously.
Absolutely.
And number two, we sell them at a reduced price.
Yeah.
So if somebody buys, let's say somebody buys 5 males and 10 females, they're going to pay a really lot lower price. See how below these guys, even though they're wild? But they'll start breeding that size. And what you got to remember, in the wild, in other words, maybe that fish right there is in the wild is 6, 8, 9 months old. Well, that's because they're looking every day for food. Here, I can get a fish up that size in 3 months because we're feeding them. They're not working so hard. In the wild, all these guys do is work all day long to eat. So they don't get as big as they will here. So people come here, a lot of people come here sometimes, well, not a lot of people, some people that come here, and they say, whoa, I've never seen a fish that big. Well, maybe they've only seen wild fish. They haven't seen fish that have been in a controlled, get them growing, keep them healthy and fat.
So it's a 365-day-a-year buffet here.
Yeah. And like when you see these underground, these in the water photos of these guys, you can see that they can scrape the sides the whole time. Because even though we drain this stuff, we're just draining the bottom. We don't worry about the sides. The only time we worry about the sides, and we don't worry about them, but we scrape the sides is when we're breaking down a tank that's been sitting for a long time. But again, this is Kachese and pineapples. And they're doing very well. 80, I think there's probably 90, 40, 160. It's probably 175 fish here. 2 of them are not in good shape. Well, one of them's really in bad shape.
Sleeping.
We don't do burials or anything like that here. We just kind of food for the nature around here. And what we're going to do when we're done is we're going to salt this tank. And by what I mean is we're going to come along, throw about, actually, this tank we could put, it's about 2,500, 3,000 gallons. You can put 80 pounds of salt in here for every 1,000 gallons and leave it for a long time. So you could actually put 2.5 bags in here, but I'm not going to. And we just come out here, rock salt, toss it. Salt is wonderful.
And when you mention salt and bags of salt, what we do is we just go to our local big box store and buy the 40-pound, sometimes they're 50-pound water softener salt.
Yeah.
Just regular old salt.
Yep. And we use it because it does several things. Number one, a little bit of salty water with a freshwater fish makes the slime coat think something weird's going on the outside. Exact opposite on a saltwater fish. When we used to get saltwater fish in, sometimes we'd put them in a little bit less salty situation, and what their membrane says is, what the heck's going on? So it fires up their membranes, fires up their slime coat, and it helps them out. Also, if there's any nicks on them and stuff like that, it'll kind of keep them good. It's obviously everybody knows salt is wonderful for ick. It can't stand it, but the ick has to be off the body in order for the salt to take it. So when it's on the fish, you can't kill ick. It's got to be off the body, which it cycles. That's why you heat up the water when you have ick, so that the cycle speeds up. And that way, the last thing I want to do is come out here and find that a raccoon has decided to take this tank down. Is that good in there, Glenn? I'm a little weak. Tamla took me to the gym today and beat my butt. Oh, yesterday and beat my butt. And did it with a smile on her face. So my legs are killing me. And it was embarrassing because everybody was coming up saying, man, oh man, that woman's a lot stronger than you. Yeah. But just like every guy out there, I hate working legs. But I can bench press more than she can. But anyway, thanks for being back on the farm with what we're doing. And that's a little bit of wild fish that came in and how we're handling them this one specific time. So please like us, tell your friends about us too, and subscribe. And by the way, I'm going to Denver to do my second talk in my life. Really not good. It really makes me very, very nervous because I really don't like to talk in front of people. And I know you all don't believe that, but I do. And so Glenn's going to help me out, and we're going to have a prepared thing, and I don't know. I hope they sell Jack Daniels in Denver.
Yeah, Swag! Woo, woo, woo! Yeah!